Hi, Sagittarius. Not even going to explain, just going to get right into it. Not bottom of the deck, just an oracle card I pulled. Practice compassion, see things from a different perspective. Did you see that? Did I show that correctly? Yes, I did. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have death reversed. This is not wanting that transition or new beginning, maybe being resistant to change or feeling like you can't move on, not open to new experiences. This is your reason or season reading. It's timeless. I'm thinking about incorporating this into a series, but I will see how the viewership is and I'll go from there. All right, so we have Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles reversed, clarified by the Seven of Cups reversed, Wheel of Fortune, clarified by Justice reversed, High Priestess, Judgment reversed, and Seven of Swords reversed. Okay, so the situation is somebody is perhaps insensitive. Somebody has done something, or they do things, they have a history of doing things without thinking about someone else. It could also be somebody that that you're connected to that enjoys cerebral connection, intellectual connection more so than emotional connection. This is somebody that cuts to the chase. It could be the relationship is based on a lot of I had a friend one time say, well, I'm a frontal lobe whore. So he really found women that were intellectual very attractive. So this could be man or woman finding another man or woman very attractive because of their mental capacity, their, debate, their just intellect, that sort of thing. The challenge is being loving, being emotional, being vulnerable, being romantic. Your advice in this situation is, we got the Knight of Pentacles here, reversed. So that's saying to stand your ground. Why is it saying stand your ground? That's interesting. And this is about options, but the options are kind of getting into the... I think, you know what I think? I think this is, you're feeling stuck. You're feeling stuck, and the advice is to spice things up a little bit. To do something to get out of your head, because the challenge is being romantic, doing things that are, demonstrative, gestures, that sort of thing. Maybe you've gotten complacent and it's just this relationship that's, sometimes it feels like it's convenient. And so the challenge is to be romantic, to be loving, to be, flirty, that sort of thing. And to also go the distance, like, where are we going? Is this going to go someplace? And so I think you're probably feeling stuck, and the advice is for you to shake things up a bit. Your partner, their advice, interesting. They're overthinking, obviously. This is a good luck card. This is a card about transition, endings, cycles, completion. It doesn't mean that it has to end. It just means that a phase of life has completed, on to the next new thing. This is a good omen for that. This is about fate, destiny, karma, that sort of thing. So, and you have everything you need to go on to the next chapter or phase in your life. So I think your partner, I think there's some pessimism here with your partner, and I think they overthink things a lot. Okay, and the advice is to not do that, to get out of their head. Okay, like I said, this is a very almost utilitarian type of relationship. Get out of their head. We need to be more loving and romantic to each other. The advice for you is to get out of feeling stuck, spice things up a bit. I'm not even gonna go there. And they need to get out of their head. So you're feeling stuck. They're feeling like, okay, well, what's next? What do we do now? And they're overthinking things. They might even be worried about where the relationship is going and the future of things. This could be you being stubborn, and you need to not you need to, but it might do well to remember that for the Sagittarians I'm reading for, that you do care about that person and you do love that person. And maybe it's not about the cerebral or mental connection, as far as, sometimes this can lead to bickering and debate taken too far, cutting words, things like that, cutting to the chase, not being very sensitive. And I'm not asking anybody to turn into, I'm not advocating that, and it's not even me. It's just saying that this could be where we've kind of forgotten that we care about this person. And that's where the practice compassion comes in. It could also be for yourself, that you're like, you know what, out of respect for myself in this relationship, I'm not getting my needs met. We need to do this. I don't think either one of you want to move on. Even though there's this right here, I feel like there's a caring and a love. It's just, now what? It's like you're on the precipice. Okay, so your lesson for you to learn is you need Jesus. No, you need to go inward and listen to your inner voice. This is the high priestess. This is talking, this is a number 2. So this is about balance, mainly finding that balance, unifying, coming together, assimilating. Even if you're at opposite ends of the spectrum, it's about marshaling forces to work together. This could be Pisces or Cancer. Listening to your intuition, listening to that inner voice, going within, being still, meditating, contemplation over what you want. This is not cerebral per se. This is more like soul searching. So while you might be adept at just reacting and making decisions and moving forward and quick, this is asking you actually to slow down and incorporate that logic and that cerebral side of things with your intuition, and listen to both and come up with something in the middle, or let this influence this, because you've got this down in spades, right? But it's about that intuition being coupled with logic. That is your lesson, Sagittarius, to learn with this person. And your partner's lesson is they need to, okay, there's the over-analytical right here. This is somebody who really worries a lot. Now, barring a medical condition, they need to calm down. Oh, how many times have you heard that with somebody with depression, anxiety, all that crap? People don't understand that. This is somebody who, on a grand scale, probably has a lack of faith, pessimism, self-doubt, and they might even be stubborn, not willing to look at themselves. They might get defensive. They don't take criticism very well. And the more they are in a relationship, the more it might be hard for them to be vulnerable. Okay, so their lesson is to learn how, obviously, after what I just said, to be vulnerable and to open up. And that is to say that after they have come to feel safe with somebody that's capable of respecting their feelings and is kind. Of course, you don't want to do that with somebody that's a narcissistic a-hole, but somebody that is worthy of just your thoughts, your actions, your kindness, your consideration, that sort of thing. They need to be able to open up and be vulnerable. And it's also, and it's not to say that you're there to fix their problems for this particular situation. They need to be ready to receive help, therapy, counseling, sort of reshape their view of themselves about life, because this is a very pessimistic personality right here. So they need to fix that. Otherwise, it's almost like, well, they're going to attract people that are going to reinforce that image of life about themselves, so forth. So it's not as simple as they need to calm the hell down, especially if they've got a medically verifiable issue with anxiety or depression or the like. Okay, I know this is about not having a second chance, not refusing to look at themselves, but for this reading, it feels like this person has a lot of self-doubt, might even be crippling, because this is a major arcana, so this could be pervasive, like they've dealt with it all their life. Yeah, so if they haven't looked at that before, this might be like, you really need to consider this, because this is pervasive. There might be something more to just you always wanting to triple check everything, always being pessimistic, always overanalyzing things. There might be something more to that. Just saying. All right, and then we've got the outcome here, which is, well, it's breaking free of mental challenges. It could be guilt. It could be coming clean because you feel guilty. It could be having those conversations that clear the air. This is about not feeling like you have to protect yourself, or it's about being open and being vulnerable in this case. So I think the advice for this couple or your reason or season, I think this person might be somebody that you stick with more than a season. It's just about being able to open up and be vulnerable and be emotional with each other and to be and do loving things. Excuse me. And I'm not sitting here saying, you know, relationship counselor, sex counselor. I'm not anything like that, but it seems to be that the challenge in the relationship you might have gotten stale or stagnant to where both of you are kind of relating to each other just on a mental and what needs to be done. It might be very stressful and you forget to take those moments for each other. You forget to do those little nice things for each other, you know, bringing somebody a Frosty or a Mick Sunday or whatever on the way home, or, you know, hey, I got this shirt, I thought you might like it, or just, you know, anything like that. Just remembering who each other is to each other, if that makes sense. And I think it does. Doing something kind, little things. It's the little things. It's always the little things. And it's always the ones that are quiet that you got to worry about. Okay. So whatever, this is about someone being with you for a reason or a season. It seems like this is a good fit. It's just, this perhaps needs to be, maybe it's crossroads. Knights are always talking about the balance of the extremes. Okay, so it could be that there's a match here. You've got the same energy, but as far as how you express it, you know what I mean? It might be too much one way. Like it might be overly cerebral and there needs to be more compassion and not necessarily emotion, just intuition. And that comes from being vulnerable. I'm going to look at 2 Knights here. Hold on. 2 Knights is intimacy. Yep, that's fitting. Okay, so there's a call for intimacy here. Into me you see. How many times has that been used, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 4. We've got 4 heavies here out of, well, 1, 2, 3, it's 8. So, significant relationship. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. All right, when we get too much into our head, we forget that. We forget our emotional health, we forget our mental health, we forget our, dare I say, sexual health. We forget that things have a rhythm and a cycle. And when you're going, you know, 0 to 60 all the time, when you have that drive, other things start to short circuit. So it's just, once again, slowing down, practicing that compassion, being in tune with each other. That, okay, I didn't mean to pull that. That will bring more intimacy into your lives with this person. It will enrich your connection, as they say. Don't ask me who they is. This speaks to the roles that we play. It's about control, wishful thinking, that sort of thing. And I think this speaks to, in this instance, sometimes you get in a rut and you're very driven. You know, here's that drive. Very driven. You know what you want. Maybe even as a couple, you're working for that one thing. But eventually you become a slave to it. So it's just about slowing down, checking your motives, checking where you're at. Is this where I wanted to be when I started this? Is this, are we still working together? That sort of thing. Like, am I still the same person? You know what I mean? Kind of like that whole, do I remember where I came from? Is this still me? Am I still the same person? So I know that's kind of on a grand scale, but in this particular instance, I think this speaks to you checking yourself and realizing that, okay, yeah, I might have changed, but I'm still the same person. I still want the same things, but in order to get what I want, this is what I'm doing for right now. And balancing that. There's no shame in that, okay, that you walk out the door and you have to be a different person or do something different than you normally would. Your job is renting your behavior. They're renting your productivity. That's fine. But there needs to be that coming back to center. Otherwise, you slowly start to become that person, and then there's that crisis of identity, that whole thing. So just remember who you are and remember to connect with this person. And as far as a reason or a season, this seems like more than a season to me, or more than a reason to me. This seems like a connection. You just maybe feeling like you lost your way with each other. So it's more than a season, at least from where I'm looking. So Sagittarius, I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Thank you again for stopping by. Take care.